Ace Ramon. Can Brett be funny? I remember seeing Sean make him laugh on his show and thought that was nice. We did have a laugh about some stuff. I forget what it was.
Brett's got a great sense of humor.
He's just
Brett,
dry.
Brett's funny as fuck, man.
Hmm.
I love Brett.
Yeah, he's just got a dry sense of humor.
But
All
he
right.
ain't afraid to laugh. I mean,
What else we got? Who else is here?
I'll tell a great story. I don't
Go
know if
ahead. Let's get a good
I've
Brett
ever told.
story.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told this story before. So it's me, Brett, and his wife now, Stephanie, and we're in a hotel room, and Brett and I decide we're going to get stoned. So we got a joint. We're passing this joint back and forth, and I mean, just the room is just Cheech and Chong smoked out. All of a sudden, the fucking fire alarm goes off in the room, and we've old schooled it with the towel and the fucking
Yeah.
white tape, or we've done the 1990. How we used to do that in my dorm room at University of Tennessee. In the athletic dormitory, you have the bottom vent have a piece of cardboard duct tape to that, and then duct tape all the way around the room, and then get in there and just have a smoke out. But so it went off. So, and I mean, I'm fucking baked out of my mind. So I I asked him if he has any, because Brett uses shaving cream. Like he has, he's shaved.
Hmm.
So he says, "Yeah, I got shaving cream." I said, "Give me that. I'll muddle it with this fucking shaving cream." So I spray this shaving cream into this fucking thing, and it doesn't take any of the noise out. So now it's it's going, and we're
You sprayed
like
shaving cream into the alarm.
into the thing that's gonna that's but it's the whole fucking there's you
Because you
know
thought that would tamp the sound down a little. You
I
were
think
fucked up. I get it.
yeah, I thought that would fucking shut this fucking thing. Give me some.
Not put the pillow over it. Shoot some shaving cream into it.
Well, the fucking pillow wasn't gonna stay. I wasn't gonna fucking. Like I said, there's a
You
15-minute
stand for
rule.
15. Guy, I was just going to say it, motherfucker.
Yeah, 15 minutes. If I can sit down, I can't reach it. So there's a knock on the door, and it's like the two fucking guys with the sports coats that are too big for them. They're coming up to check, and I mean the fucking it's. I'm stoned as fuck, and I can smell weed. So that they can smell weed probably on the whole floor. And the guy walks in the room, and he looks on the side, and there's this shaving cream blob on the side of this thing. And he looks at it. I know he's thinking like, what the? And he looks and registers who's in the room, and then he fucking gets on his walkie-talkie, says something. The fucking sound stops, and they just exit the room. He shut the door. We sit down, and Brett looks at me and goes, "What the fuck were you thinking?" Because now here we are, situation's over, and he's got this fucking, you know, turban of shaving cream stuck in the side of his room. So every time we saw each other after that, we'd always make some reference for like a couple of years of, hey, because when back when you couldn't smoke in the WWE, um, there were times you knew if you were going into a country that didn't speak English that you could like if you were especially if you were going into like going from the UK and then going to Austria and Germany and maybe like Switzerland or something like that. Like maybe you had like a shot there and you were flying back out from there. They
Mm-hmm.
would never piss you in a country that didn't speak English. But if you went out and came back through England, they were going to piss you. So Brett and I were, I think we I don't know if we went together or we just ran into each other at like this giant um, like discotheque, and I want to think it was in maybe Zurich or maybe it was in was in I just remember everybody like being kind of blonde and
Aryan looking.
like I felt like I was at an ABBA
Hmm.
concert or something, and Brett and I copped some hash, but it was rolled in tobacco, and we smoked it in the club. And I remember like when we left there, um, we didn't know whether we were stoned, had sore throats, or if it was the tobacco, because tobacco will give you a buzz too. And but Brett always called the smoke, he called it the cannabis Murray. So
Murray.
you'd run if you ran into Brett, and he'd say, "Hey, you guys don't know it or not, man, but Murray's in town." We'd be, "Oh, really? Is he gonna be at the show tonight?" "No, but he's
You'll be there after.
yeah, he'll be after." Like, okay.
Bring your shaving cream.
So yeah, that was my stupid. God, we were stoned too. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
I would have loved just you to try to offer an explanation. When the dude walked in and looked up at the thing
Brett
and
just looked
saw
at the
the.
way. I wasn't so much. It wasn't so much the look from the guy. It was just the look from Brett. Of like, what the fuck were you thinking? I'm like, that didn't play out right. So
Was the Ruthless Aggression Era a thing? This is the first time I'm hearing it. Maybe I'm not a good enough fan. I knew
I
the
was.
Hogan era, and then the Attitude Era. There was a Ruthless Aggression Era?
That was when Rock and Steve were both going.
I know what they said it was, but I'd never heard the term used. I knew there was the
Oh, there
new
was.
new generation.
I had a hat that said WWE. The WW without the without.
Mm-hmm.
There's never been an E, but there's their logo, and then across the back where you snap it together and make it the sizes. Across that little arch there, it said "Ruthless Aggression." So
I think it was that the name of a pay-per-view also, or maybe a video game was called Ruthless Aggression. I know the term, but I never heard it applied to like
no, it was
an
it was
era in the
it was an
business.
oh yeah, it was. I think because he had that in ring with all the talent around.
The three computer era, maybe could have
That
been
was
referred
I
to.
wonder when the three computers came in.
I was I was legitimately touched to see Brett talk about Owen. He'd always kind of talked about him in any documentary or interview I've seen in a very prepared way. There was some real raw emotion. I thought it was really heartbreaking to watch Brett talk about Owen today.
I mean, I don't think I've ever spoke to. I know I told him I'm sorry, but I never brought it up how it's something you don't do. Hey, let me pick at that fucking scab you've been.
And I know,
It's like
of
Jesus.
course.
Yeah.